This is my reaction to the new Dune 3 trailer, and the question I'm gonna pose with this video is it as good as we were expecting? Does it live up to the hype? I'm gonna give you a breakdown of the trailer because I read this book actually, and I enjoyed this book. I enjoyed the Dune Messiah book, and it's gonna be a spoiler-free review as much as I can. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm not gonna give away any parts of the story, or like not any major parts of the story. Mostly stuff that happens in the beginning or something. But here are the elements from the trailer that we see. Right, we see Paul and Shawnee, and she's just going off on him. She's like, "You betrayed me. You promised you were never gonna be king or emperor or whatever. You promised this." And the question that really makes me think here is, yeah, the acting is very good. It's really what these characters would do in an alternate universe, because in the books, as we know, Shawnee is like she's like his concubine. She loves this dude. She is in love with him. She is madly in love with him. And the question that this is going to reveal here, the answer to that question, which is the question of, is this actually going to pay off well? Is Denis Villeneuve deciding that she should not be together with him, and she goes against Paul because he betrays everything that she stands for? Is that going to be a good payoff? In the book, it's a very good payoff. It's actually much better done, I think. Not that we know what's going to happen yet, but in the books, she gets into a lot of trouble, and her fate is in great peril, and it's a very nightmarish situation for her as a consequence of actually supporting him. So the fact that she's being used by his agenda comes even better forward. Here, it makes you think, she's against him. Is Denis Villeneuve really going to make this a better story than Frank Herbert did? In a lot of ways, he did improve on the story. But anyways, this might not be one of those things, or it could be better. Who knows? But you get some flashbacks of Paul and Shawnee, probably explaining how she gives birth in the books. She gives birth to twins. In the books, they're completely in love, and he completely denounces Irulan. He never does anything with her physically. He just completely. It's just a marriage that's political and nothing else. There's zero love there. Next, we see Paul in the desert, and Shawnee tells him that she believed in him. He's like, "What do you know about me?" So Denis Villeneuve is really going headfirst into making him a villain. In the books, though, he's not a villain, but this sentence really means something, right? He's like, "What do you know about me?" He's really showing that she has no idea the powers that she was trifling with, sort of. She does not know him as a person. He's just like an alien in this world. He's like some type of godlike being with all these powers and abilities that she had no idea that he had when she was together with him, having this romance, and she was completely blindsided by that. And next we see in the trailer, the jihad that was a consequence of Paul ascending the throne. In the book, you don't see any of that. None of that's described, which is kind of bad. In these trailers, you see a lot of interesting planets, a lot of interesting like ninja type dudes getting mauled down. They have no way of surviving. They pose no threat at all against the Fremen. Because even in the books as well, the Fremen are a force to be reckoned with. They can't be stopped. They have such abilities that the other planets just don't have. But the consequences for the Fremen as well are really bad. Like these dudes have never seen water. Suddenly they're getting sent out across the universe, and they just don't come back, a lot of them. So this has a lot of consequences. And a couple of shots in the trailer, you see them carrying this like sarcophagus type thing, which is probably Duncan Idaho turned into a Gola, which is basically they got his DNA and they recreated a copy of him. And Basically, they run across these fields and they're just getting shot at. There's mud everywhere. It looks cold and miserable. So this probably is going to show that the consequences are to the Fremen as well, because they do not enjoy this Paul ruling anymore. It was not what they expected. It was not what they enjoyed. You see some choreographies with the Gola and Paul fighting each other. And another thing that I was thinking from this trailer is how much the dialogue has been simplified. I'm not sure I really like that. The book was very eloquent. You get tons and tons of dialogue, and it just means so many things, and it's like twisting and turning everywhere. In the trailer, the Gola literally says to Paul, "We want to do we want to basically have peace with you." And Paul's like, "Why is that a bad thing?" And the Gola responds, "Because we want to destroy you," basically. In the books, that is true. In Dune Messiah, it's true. He knows they want to destroy him. His enemies are all around him. He knows what type of danger he's in. He sees all those paths. Like, he sees the different paths of the future. He knows it. But it's not as overt. So, like, is the trailer making this... Is the movie going to be more eloquent than this, or is it just another blockbuster action? And here's the thing that I'm thinking about, right? The book was a little bit weird as well. It's very cryptic. There's a lot of mystery. There's a lot of secrecy. The trailer makes it seem like there's a lot of action, which might not be a bad thing, you know, for a mainstream audience. It looks good. It looks very good. But I'm hoping that there's a little bit more of that weirdness, and you do see that, especially in the battle scenes. You know, you see the types of design and the spaceships. Denis Villeneuve really went all out on this. He really did. I would say there's enough of that weirdness in here to make this interesting. It's not an oversimplification from Hollywood. Definitely not. Some of the dialogue is a little bit simplified, but yeah. Then we see shots of beaches and water on other planets. It's going to be interesting in the movie to see how the Fremen react to that sort of stuff. They've never had water before on their planet. You see Irulan and the Bene Gesserit, and they're conspiring against Paul, and they meet with Scytale, played by Robert Pattinson. And Scytale is basically this dude who can shapeshift. He gets the faces of other people, and he can turn into them, basically. In the books, there's an interesting sort of introduction. A Fremen woman is found dead in the desert, and he uses her face to get into Paul's castle, and it's very interesting. Okay, then there's another thing which I found very interesting. The way it was depicted. It was a certain attack. Okay, there's a certain attack against Paul, and in the books, I'm not gonna say what it is. I will not tell you what it is. But in the books, it's described in a way where you can imagine it in whatever sort of way you want. It can be light. It can be a pink stream of energy. It can just be fire. It's up to your interpretation. I'm not sure in this movie if I enjoy the interpretation Denis Villeneuve went with this. It's a little bit overt and a little bit quick from what it looked like, but it's a trailer. Like, come on, we're not gonna judge that just from the trailer. But I'm just gonna say it in my head. I enjoyed it a lot more than in the trailer, but in the trailer it probably still looks good. Another thing that I'm gonna say is that there's a certain damage to a certain character. And in here, we can see glimpses of that, and I did not really connect with it. I thought it was not brutal enough. It was not bad enough. There's just a few split seconds here and there, but the message didn't come across as well as the in the book, because it was terrifying in the book for other characters to witness the thing that they witnessed. Here, it was a lot more toned down. I think Denis Villeneuve is going to go for a more toned down approach, which is not what I was hoping that you would do. But overall, a very impressive trailer. I thought it was very interesting. The The action looks good. The dialogue is good. The all of the set designs are amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. I think this is gonna be probably the movie of the year. I'm excited. I'm hyped about this, and yeah, I think it looks very interesting. It's not going to be a perfect adaptation, and I do think maybe Dune 2 is gonna be better than this probably. Just the way that I felt from the trailer. I think the trailers for Dune 2 were honestly better than this. I think it's gonna be a Godfather 2 type situation where the second movie is better than the third one, but it's not gonna be at that level. Okay, this is gonna be an excellent movie. It's just that probably I have a feeling it's not gonna top the second one. But amazing trailer, really hyped for this. And yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments below. The dialogue was a little bit questionable from what it was, but it's very early to tell. But it's enough to get you hyped. That's what I'm gonna say. And yeah, bye.